Yeah, hi friends. Doc South here. Grew up in North Jersey, and frankly, I can't kick on my childhood. Us kids really saw to it that we enjoyed ourselves. Once school was done, the homework was, well, at least promised to get done. We'd be heading out the door for mirth and merriment and adventure, for sure. One thing we used to like to do was we'd like to mess around with a thing called the Black River. The Black River is, don't picture something like the mighty Mississippi. Okay, no. Black River was probably, at least where we used to play with it, it was about 8 feet wide, something like that. Maybe about 4 feet deep at the worst, and it kind of ran through this big swamp. Yeah, but there were bridges, highway bridges that went over it. So we'd go down, ride our bikes down on the road, park our bikes safely, and then we'd, maybe we had a nice box of rocks or something we could throw in the water. Just all sorts of things. Fishing, of course, had to try fishing. Never caught anything that you'd care to eat anyway. Yeah, didn't. I think further down where the river widened out and kind of ran over a bunch of rocks and stuff, near the old iron mines. I think then you might have fish there, but generally the fish. I think we caught a crayfish that was about up there in the swamp. I think we caught a crayfish that was about 8 inches long, and I think he bit one of my friends, and friend went screaming home, wanted to get a tetanus shot or rabies or something. I don't think he needed it, but he was pretty upset with the darn thing. Actually, I don't think, I think what it was I think one of us put it up near, I'm not saying who, wasn't me. Okay, so put the crayfish up near his nose, and the crayfish got him, yeah. And he's, poor guy's running home screaming for his ma. Big old crayfish stuck. Yeah, his nose bled a little, not too bad. And, but other than that, and I don't know, one day we decided we needed to navigate this great mighty artery of commerce, the Black River. So we decided to build a raft. Now, we built it back at my house, which was about a mile from the river, at least. And what we did, my father had a soda business, so we had pallets. Those boards you see where you can stack, boxes on, and then you scoop under with a forklift, right? And get and you move the pallet onto a truck. Well, we got one of those pallets. My father said we could have one, and we got a bunch of lumber. There was some broken lumber out behind the warehouse. We got that, and we decided what we do is, how a pallet has a board on the bottom, a board on the top, spaces in between them, and then you have edges all around the pallet that are open. Well, we closed them up. Right. We got boards, as best we could, we got boards, a little bit bigger boards. So we actually had here's the one board, the pallet board base, the pallet top, and then the sideboard. And so we actually had a sort of an airspace. Yeah. Where the pallet was separated. And we did what we could with tar. We found a bunch of tar paper, and we tacked that down to the bottom of the with a whole bunch of Elmer's glue and these big fat nails. We tacked that all down. So we figured we had sort of like a tub, sort of a floating tub, made out of tar paper, pallet wood, sideboards. No one thought anything about caulk. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't think of that. And it probably would have been good to cap off the top of the pallet so that we actually had an air pocket. Right. Well, anyway, by the time we were done, the darn thing weighed about 250 pounds. We each had, two of us had wagons, so we got our wagons, and we tied the wagon. We somehow tied the pallet boat to the wagons, and then we dragged. We hitched it up to our bicycles, and we rode downhill to the river. The only thing is there was no brakes on the pallet wagon, right? And we were just using ropes, so we didn't really pull the boat down to the river. We stayed ahead of it as best we could. One kid, yeah, I think little Jimmy, he couldn't quite pedal as fast, and the thing ran him over, but he was okay. Yeah, just scraps, scrapes, nothing to write home about. Nothing broken, no bones sticking out. And but we eventually got down to the river. It took about 3 hours. It did. And we're on the bridge, and of course traffic's trying to get across the bridge, and there we are with this pallet and our wagons. Bunch of people yelling at us. I don't think there were policemen in our town at that time. Though it was a small town. We didn't need any police. Every house had a shotgun. You didn't have to worry about a thing. The burglars had to worry, right? And so we finally get I don't know, I think one guy finally got out of the car and comes up. What are you kids doing? You're blocking the road, for crying out. We're trying to get across here. What? Oh, you got a boat? What, you going to throw it in the river? Kids, that ain't going to work. You sure you want to? He said, look, I'll help you. Come on, guy, I got to get going. Okay, so this grown-up grabs one end, the three or four of us on the other end, pitch we throw our boat, our pallet boat over the railing and splash. And yeah, I think we had a bottle of Yoo-hoo that we cracked over the bow. Yeah, and we ran as fast as we could. We had a rope attached to the raft so it wouldn't go away. We had supplies. We had, I think, tasty cake pies in like a little sealed lunchbox. Yeah. And there it is. It's floating in the water. The darn thing is. It's floating almost. It probably about that much more, and the water would go over the railing, but it looked okay. And so we go down along the side. We had the rope in hand. We pulled the rope, our raft in to the shoreline. We all hop in, all five of us, and we push off with a pole. And I think we must have traveled at least 5 feet, and the ship sunk. Yeah, we're up to oh my God. It wasn't so bad that we were up to our waists in water, but we were up to a little bit above our kneecaps in mud. And one kid, I think, felt a crayfish, kind of. Yeah, he was wearing shorts, and a crayfish bit him on the knee. And long story short, we abandoned ship and ran for our lives for the shore. And we were pretty muddy. And the water was all roiled up. The raft went, I don't know, it floated downstream about 20 feet, and then it sank. And as near as I know, that was maybe I'm 75. That'd be about 65 years ago. I think the raft is still there, unless it decayed by now. I don't know. It never got too far. Oh, but we had fun. For a while, we had a dream. I looked it up. I was the navigator, and we could see that the Black River would eventually become Lamington Creek. It would go into a portion, it was either the north or south branch of the Raritan River. I think it was the south branch. Could be. I think it might be the north. I don't know. It was one of those branches. And at that point, it would flow down the mighty Raritan River to the Perth Amboy bridges, and then out to sea. We dreamt of a great journey on that raft of ours, but it just never quite happened. And I don't know. We tried to build a few more, but my father kind of pulled the kibosh there on the tar paper. He said, he needs it for the roof on the warehouse, and we got interested in other stuff. So, but anyway, true story. I'm sure that raft is still there. If you want to get some poles, maybe a harpoon or something, you'll feel it there on the bottom. It's probably under about 1.5 feet of mud, but it's there, I'm sure. it couldn't have gone any further than what it did. Sad to say. Later in life, my first wife and I think we got a rubber raft. You know, one of those boats. Yeah, the rubber raft boats. You see. Yeah, you always see the Marines not, kind of going across the river, for a sortie against the enemy in these things. We had something like that, and we actually got pretty far down the Raritan River, at least more where it was wider and a little deeper. And I remember, though, I think we had to abandon ship too, because the rocks we saw were actually not rocks; they were snapping turtles. Yeah, and you're in a rubber raft. Jeez. So, I don't know. Probably a smarter idea would be just join the Navy. They know how to build a ship. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you later. Doc's out, signing off. Bye-bye now.